Again, in addition to the briefing, we're also watching this court appearance. Let's bring in Chuck Rosenberg, who's a former U.S. attorney, former senior FBI official, and an MSNBC contributor. Chuck, when you heard about this new charge today, this charge of lying by this gentleman, Van der Zwaan, what was your reaction?
Well, Katie, I'll tell you, eat your vegetables, make your bed, and don't lie to the FBI. I think Bob Mueller is sending a signal, even if this case is a one-off, and by that I mean sort of not in the heart of the Russia interference portion of the investigation. If you go in front of the FBI, if you're talking to Bob's prosecutors, tell the truth.
Is that really what this is? More than anything else, just a big signal to everybody in this that if they're not coming to play, as in coming to tell the truth and coming to be fully honest and forthright with this special counsel, that they will face some serious repercussions?
Yes, but, and let me explain what the but is. Yes, but because there's a person A mentioned in the charging document. We don't know who that is. And moreover, it looks like Mr. Van der Zwaan had some contact with Gates and Manafort and might be helpful in the prosecution of either of those two gentlemen, assuming that neither of them plead guilty. So what a prosecutor is trying to do is really two things. They're sending a message to the person who broke the law. In this case, Van der Zwaan is being punished for lying to the FBI. That's specific deterrence. But there's another theory of deterrence that matters a lot, Katie, and that's general deterrence. It's the message to everyone else. Look at what happened to this guy for lying. Don't make that mistake.
Let's talk about the way that Robert Mueller is going about this whole investigation. And I'm really fascinated by the process of it and how he seems to be building a case. First off, with the guilty pleas and the initial indictments, and then last Friday with those indictments on the Russians and the Russian corporations for interference, really laying out how it was done. What do you think, and if you were Robert Mueller, what do you think we are going to see next? It feels like he's trying to show the American public why this is such a big deal, why this is not fake news or a hoax, as the president has claimed it is.
And I think the Russian indictment does that quite well. It's an extraordinary document, Katie. The amount of work that went into it, right? This is not your run-of-the-mill bank robbery where you have, fingerprints and a couple of surveillance tapes. This is an extraordinarily detailed, complicated, nuanced, layered investigation. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I urge people to read that indictment. The 37 pages are worth your time. Where does it go next? Well, one of the things you're also seeing is the team approach to investigations, that there are within the Mueller operation, groups of prosecutors and groups of agents, each working on different aspects of the case. My guess is that the folks who did the Manafort and Gates indictment are not the same folks who did the Russian indictment. And so you will continue to see different pieces of the case pop up from time to time.
Chuck, quick question. Is Donald Trump and his campaign in the clear so far?
Nobody's been vindicated. It's amazing to me that we would think that these documents, these charging instruments, have vindicated anyone. There's nothing in the Russian indictment that was issued last week that contains a list of those vindicated. Indictments charge